Hi everyone, we're back. I'm Dr. Kim Byrd-Rider, physical therapist, and this is the wonderful Mr. Tuna, our clinical dietitian, and we're going to talk about plateauing and scales.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you go.
Okay, so I've seen my fair share of plateaus in my life. Sometimes I've hit plateaus where I couldn't bust out for a week or two, and it can be very, very discouraging. And some of the ways where you can bust out of a plateau, and um, you know, maybe I'm getting a little bit of ahead of myself. Maybe I should talk about what a plateau actually is.
Oh, yeah.
So essentially, you know, um, when you first start this journey, you may see substantial results very early on. Your body is still adapting. Your body is kind of liberating a lot of body stores, fat, glycogen, maybe even, hopefully not muscle. um, but your body is going through a rapid change of adaptation. So eventually your body is going to adapt. It's very good at that. And the things that you're doing to force your body to lose weight and release its fat stores may not be working as efficiently anymore. And so you go from losing 2 or 3 pounds a week to losing zero, or you might have gained a pound. God forbid.
God forbid.
Yeah, right. Um, but the reason that it's important to know that the reason that that's happening is that your body has finally adapted to something, and now something else has to change. This is a constant process of adaptation and changing along with it. So when you hit a plateau and you stop losing weight, something know that something needs to change. Either your diet needs to change or your physical activity needs to change. You need to either be trying to increase your physical activity, try to maybe burn a couple extra calories throughout the day, or you need to maybe cut back, or maybe cut back on your calories by maybe 100, something like that. What I
Not 500,
Not
but just
500,
100.
just 100. You want to start slow, and I tell people all the time, you don't want to try to you don't want to try to force too forcefully through a plateau, because then you have absolutely nowhere to go. For example, if I'm eating 2,000 calories a day and I'm losing weight just fine, but then I stop and I hit a plateau, it would not be wise to cut it down by 500 and then go from 2,000 to 1,500, because you know what's going to happen? I'm just going to hit another plateau. I'm going to hit another plateau, and where do I go from there? I go
Half of that.
half of that. So now I went from 2,000 to 1,500 to 1,000 to 700. Eventually, I'm at a point now where I'm starving myself, and it's very, very unhealthy, very, very unsafe.
And no fun anymore.
No fun anymore, right? And you may still not be losing weight.
Really.
So you really want to start small, because those micro changes have when you're talking about 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, those micro changes are going to result in more more substantial changes in what you see on the scale, what you see in the mirror.
So
how
it
you feel in
doesn't
your
take
clothes.
much to get you off the plateau. It doesn't take 500 calories to get you off the plateau.
No,
It could take 100 calories to
you
get you
just
off
have
the
to be
plateau.
able to tell your body that it needs to start changing again.
Oh, so you just say, I'm going to come out of this pattern.
Exactly.
And you can just come a little off the pattern.
So and sometimes, instead of messing with your calories, it's usually a better idea to start with your physical activity.
Yeah.
Start with a couple and you don't have to work out an hour a day extra on top of what you're already doing. It can really
Same thing, micro.
Yeah.
I found that in the past, if I hit a plateau, and I am telling you all as well, 20 minutes a day, no more, no less. Don't go over that, because then you'll go into this crazy bartering thing of I did 40 yesterday, so I'm doing nothing today kind of thing. And 20 minutes does the deal. But I find when I hit a plateau, if I do 25 minutes or 24 minutes, I can get over that plateau,
Oh,
and then I go back to 20.
For sure. So I've started running,
Yeah?
and
Tell us how much weight you've lost. We were
So-
just talking about that.
so
In these 3 weeks,
Yeah.
just now.
I did. So I did hit my 4 pound mark. I think I was 282.5 when right before the first video, and now I'm 278. So just about 4 pounds. So I'm very happy with that.
Yes.
So
You can feel 4 pounds.
yeah, and back to the kind of micro changes.
Oh, yeah.
If you're used to doing cardio, trust me, if you're used to doing only 20 minutes of cardio and then just cutting it off after 20 minutes, you feel the extra 5 minutes. If you choose to go 25 minutes, you really feel that. It really doesn't take that much.
And so that'll pull you off the pattern too, just doing a couple extra minutes on the treadmill.
And
Or
that-
walking. You don't have to be on a treadmill, swimming, whatever you're doing for cardio.
And an extra 5 minutes a day is an extra 30 minutes per week. So that's a whole extra workout.
That's what people don't realize. That adds up.
Yeah, just make 5 extra minutes. Oh, 5 extra minutes isn't going to do anything. Over the course of a week, that's an entire
That's an entire workout.
You're squeezing a whole new workout in there.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That is a total workout. Well, sometimes you're not on a plateau. It's just so your scale is telling you you're on a plateau. So you were talking about scales.
Yeah, so a lot of times people confuse their progress on the scale with their body composition. What we really try to do is modify your body composition because to a certain extent, I mean, of course it matters how much we weigh. Pressure on our joints. If we're elderly or immobile, the more weight that we have, it puts us at higher risk for ulcers, sores, things like that. It can really cause circulation issues. Just
The
simply
heart has to work harder, doesn't
your
it?
heart has to work harder. There's a lot of things that go along with being a heavier person with just simply weight. But I think the goal for everybody here is to not only be healthier, but to change your body composition. You want maybe be a little bit toner, reduce the amount of fat that you have on your body. That's really what our goals are. And one of the best ways to kind of measure that our progress in that regard is I don't know if you've ever seen these scales with these metal plates or
Yes.
so.
You can get those like at Walmart, right?
Yeah.
It's just a regular scale, but it's got metal plates on it. You stand on it.
Yeah, so these are body composition scales, and it uses what's called bioelectrical impedance to. This is going to sound a little scary, but it's perfectly safe and you don't feel a thing. It actually uses electricity to measure the conductivity of all of the different cells in our body. So it can tell how much muscle that we have based on how it conducts electricity. It can tell how much fat we have on our body based on how it conducts electricity.
That's crazy.
So it's a really good tool, and they're if you're interested in looking them up, they're very inexpensive, and I would suggest if you can find one with handheld plates, that would be your best option. Most of the time nowadays, the plates are on the bottom where you would just place your feet. I'm not the biggest fan of those because the skin on the bottom of your feet is so much thicker than on the palms of your hands.
Callousy even.
Yeah. So and usually heavier people tend to have more calloused feet just simply because
The
of the
weight.
weight. So it's so try to find ones with the hand held plates, and I think those are going to be a lot more accurate for you.
Why do the ones at the doctors always seem to be heavier than
They,
I don't know why that is.
yeah,
The sliding, the slide ones up here?
they don't do us any favors by having us keep our shoes on
Yeah.
and our
Wallet.
pants and our wallet and my cell phone's in my pocket, and So I'm probably when you go to the doctor, you're probably going to be 10 pounds over usually.
Well, and it's time of day. What is the time of day?
Oh, time of day, matters too. I was actually just talking to a friend of mine, and he's kind of on this weight loss journey himself, and he just realized that wow, when I go to sleep at night and I weigh myself, I'm about 5 pounds heavier than when I just wake up in the morning. So your weight is going to change naturally, uh, pretty. I would say 2 to 5 pounds, depending on what time of day, is pretty dramatic. Um, so the one thing that you can do that I would suggest, don't worry about making sure that you are capturing all those different fluctuations throughout the day. Just set one time of the day aside, and that's what you're going to consistently. That is the time of the day that you're going to weigh yourself. I choose to take out as many variables as possible. So I know that what works best for me is to weigh myself. If I choose to weigh myself that day, is to weigh myself first thing in the morning before I have any water, before I have any, when I wake up to go to the bathroom first thing in the morning.
And you go pee before you get on that scale, and you're naked. And you take your glasses off.
And I take my glasses off. Yeah, the first thing that I'll do, if you're going to the bathroom anyway in the morning,
that's right.
You
do
might
that
as well.
First.
Yeah, you might as well hop
Get
on the
rid of that
side.
half a pound.
Yeah, exactly. But whatever, I mean, um, whatever you decide to do, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the morning. But it makes sure that time of day is consistent for you, so that you take out as many variables as possible. Because the last thing that you want is to think that you gained weight when you actually lost weight.
Yeah.
Um,
Because that's very discouraging. So, what would you say when you get discouraged? Just like persevere and just keep on going, because it's going to turn around.
what I do
Yeah.
when I get discouraged, and obviously, this may not work for everybody, but this is something that kind of helps me. Is I really try to keep things in perspective. Have a perspective and have clear goals for yourself. If your goal is to lose 2 pounds per week, make yourself responsible for that goal. And if you don't meet it, make sure that you put everything into perspective and evaluate how you feel like you did that week. Because so many times, just because you didn't lose that 2 pounds, it doesn't mean that you didn't make other strides gaining muscle mass. Things like just enhance your cardiovascular system. I try to keep things in perspective and say, this is a life journey for me. I'm going to, even if I don't meet my goal for this week, I know that I'm going to keep persevering.
You got another week.
Absolutely.
You have another year.
Yeah.
You have another 2 years. But
and
just
don't
keep going.
Yeah, and don't be too hard on yourself. This process is hard enough as it is. Everybody's life is hard enough as it is. And if there's one person on this earth that you should always be able to rely on to be kind to you, it's you. You should always be able to rely that you can be kind and generous to yourself. And I suggest everybody be their best friend, because you can always guarantee that because you're always in control of how you treat you. So.
Absolutely. And we're working on that in our exercise classes of how to, peel away all of the self-doubt and the I shoulds and the that's part of losing weight, because we have to, because it's the I should be this size and I should be that. Those are our saboteurs. That's what's sabotaging us. All of that self-doubt
and comparing us to other people.
Comparing.
You never want the grass is always greener on the other side, and it's don't fall into the trap of I want to look like Jennifer Aniston, or is it our genetics are always going to be different, and make sure that you accept yourself first. It's going to be, and this is something that I struggled with when I was younger, and that I didn't realize until I got much older and I had much more experience behind me, is that it's still going to be difficult to be happy if if you don't accept yourself even before this process, if it's difficult for you to accept yourself now, just because you lost weight, it's not going to be this magical transformation where, all of a sudden, now I can love myself. You know, During this whole process, work on loving yourself and, making yourself happy, because sometimes, just reaching the end isn't going to be the transition. The climb, the the journey is 99% of the time spent. You're only going to be at that goal probably for a week or something like that until you move on to the next goal. So enjoy the process.
I'm so glad you said that, because we're working on that in our exercise class. And so and I'm sure people are saying to me, why are you working on those mental things? Because it lends itself to the weight. The weight loss is a side effect
Yeah.
of what you just said.
Right.
They go right hand in hand, and they've got to walk together. So great. That's a great lead in for next week. I'd like to talk about body image.
Good. Awesome.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, wonderful.
I know you like that topic.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so we'll see everyone next week.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.